I failed the vegan diet after eating this way for around 6 years because I just did it wrong. Well, at least according to the amount of vegans that comment on a variety of different videos on this YouTube channel since I quit the vegan diet around 2 months ago. And if you're someone new on the channel and you don't know why I quit, you can click the link up above and watch a video where I talk about that in more detail in case you're interested to know. So, is this actually true? Well, I personally would have to disagree. And as we know, at least a lot of us ex-vegans, that when someone tends to fail on a vegan diet, every single dogmatic, idealistic, evangelistic, preaching vegan out there will say about those people to them directly or to other people when they're talking about them that they just did it wrong. It wasn't the vegan diet that was messing them up because it's a sustainable diet, at least according to them, that is healthy and very nourishing, that can meet all of your nutritional needs. But the matter of fact is that is a complete load of garbage. Yet I know, and I used to be like this, so this is why I know, that when people used to fail, I used to think a very similar thing as well. They just did it wrong. They maybe needed to take this supplement and correct this deficiency or do this and that. Because I'd just been so brainwashed and programmed to the point where I believed that a vegan diet was sustainable for every single person and it was the healthiest diet in the world, and all other animal foods were bad for people and they should not be eating them whatsoever. So you go around with these vegan goggles on, looking at everyone eating animal foods and going, oh, the reason why they're so unhealthy is because they're eating this animal food and that and that and that. And if they just went vegan, it would just resolve all of their health issues and symptoms holistically. But the matter of fact is that is not true as well in any way, shape or form. And what so many people have said to me more specifically with why I failed, it was because I did juice fasting in the past, I've done water fasting, intermittent fasting, taken this supplement, done this detox thing, done this and that and that and that and that. But yeah, they are always wanting to blame something else other than the vegan diet. And then what they say is when they look at people like me and then other people that are social media influencers that were vegan that failed, apparently, is that they will say, well, they did the same things as that person and that's why they failed, and they did the same with this person and that and that and that. And they're trying to look at all these different vegans and say they all pretty much did the same things wrong and that's why they all failed. Which, to be honest, so many people that have failed a vegan diet, some of them have done similar things to me or all the same things as me, but then there's a lot of people that have not been doing the same things as me when I was on a vegan diet. And if you look into scientific research, it's been shown around 85% of vegans and vegetarians go back to meat and other animal foods. And there's a very good reason as to why. Because it is a diet that is not sustainable, because it is a malnourishing diet that cannot meet all of your nutritional needs, so then you start to deteriorate. And yes, a lot of people, when they switched to a vegan, whole foods, plant-based vegan diet, they do feel really good for a short period of time. But what you normally find is most people within a year to 2 years start to go downhill. And my theory, which makes sense to me, as to why so many people feel good when they switch to this type of vegan diet is because they have normally come from a standard American diet that has got so much refined processed garbage food in, and then when they switch to this whole foods plant-based vegan diet, they remove all of that crap, so it's no longer in their diet. And then I do believe that this reason is the reason why they start to feel really good. It's not due to the plant foods being so amazing for them, it's because they removed all the other crap. Because if it was a fully nourishing diet that was sustainable, then 85% of vegans wouldn't go back to animal foods. And it wouldn't be so hard to sustain, where you feel optimal rather than surviving and not thriving in any way, shape or form. So yeah, you're going to feel good for a while, but when you start to do it for a long period of time, for the majority of people out there, you're going to run into so many different nutritional deficiencies with specific things such as EFAs, known as essential fatty acids, more specifically EPA and DHA, which is almost non-existent on a vegan diet. Yes, you can get the plant essential fatty acid form known as ALA, which can convert to EPA and DHA, but it only has a 2 to 10% conversion rate, which is really low. Then it is very low, this diet, in vitamin K2. The only things you can really get in is things such as natto, but not all natto actually has K2 in it, and almost no one on a vegan diet eats natto because it does taste absolutely awful. I've tried it in the past, and then it's very hard to get specific things such as zinc and other minerals because a lot of the plant foods, more specifically nuts, beans, seeds, grains, and legumes, have phytates in which bind to all of the minerals. So when you chew them and digest them, you cannot absorb them whatsoever. And then it actually inhibits the absorption of other minerals from other foods that do not have phytates within them. And then there's just a whole other list of things with all of the nutrients that we need in an abundance to feel our best that are lacking on a vegan diet or are impossible to get on a vegan diet. And I want to talk about someone in my family. Well, two of them actually. One of my sisters was vegan for around 5 years. She pretty much did almost none of the things that I did on my vegan diet, with fasting and all these other detoxification things and so on. And pretty much from day one, she was eating almost organic produce, very, very high quality. But guess what? Her health got even more destroyed than mine. And I talk about why most of my vegan family members have gone back to eating animal foods. If you haven't seen that video, you can click the link up above. And then my sister had a child that is around 3 years old, and from birth, she was vegan until recently. And pretty much her whole life, she was eating organic, plant-based whole foods 99% of the time. But guess what? Her health went downhill as well. And she was breastfed from birth. She was naturally born, never been given any vaccinations or pharmaceuticals or any crap whatsoever. She had brought her up in the most healthiest way possible, but she still deteriorated as well. So, they tried really, really hard, even harder than me, because they were eating a cleaner diet than me with more nutrient-dense foods in, because as I mentioned in videos before, I've been living in Thailand for around 5 years, and pretty much most of the plant foods, except for fruits, are imported from China, and China produces some of the most toxic, pesticide-ridden produce out there, where the soil is just also so depleted. So when the soil's so depleted, so is the produce, and then they haven't got the nutrients in an abundance, all the different ones for us to thrive, and then it goes in our body. We aren't getting them all because they aren't there. And yeah, I think you get the picture. And I could just go on and on and on. There's so many different people out there that have tried so many different things when they start to go downhill on a vegan diet, and that's why I tried so many different things. But guess what? Once I've swapped back to an animal-based diet, but the most healthiest animal-based diet that I've ever been on in my life, where I'm eating so many high-quality pasture-raised meats and wild-caught fish and really high-quality grass-fed organic milk and so on, well, guess what? I don't need to be doing all of those things to try and make me feel really good, like when I was trying on a vegan diet, because I feel really good without having to do all of those things, because I've been finally, for the last 2 months, getting all the nutrients that I was lacking on a vegan diet for around 6 years, so I don't have to spend hundreds of dollars on supplements and do so many different things to try and make me feel the best. And even when I was doing all those things and I thought I was feeling the best, and where I am now with how I feel on this new diet that I've been on for the last 2 months, when I was feeling the best on a vegan diet, I started to realize from having a thing to compare from, which is this different diet, even when I thought I was feeling the best, I wasn't. And I talk about that more in a video, and if you haven't seen that, you can click the link up above now. So yeah, vegans, stop being these cultish people out there that believe the vegan diet is the best diet for everyone, because when you do your research as well, there's been never any vegan civilizations out there. We've been eating meat and other animal foods for many, many years, millions of years to be exact. And it is the best for us to eat the widest variety of whole foods that are animal-based and plant foods so we can get the most varied nutrition possible, so we can be the healthiest, best version of ourselves and have the best human experience possible, because we are not suffering inside due to being on a malnourishing, deteriorating vegan diet. And I just find that it's very sad to see people that are on a vegan diet, they're making it, wow, really bad for themselves, because they're dragging themselves through it, feeling absolutely awful. And I was one of these people. I was so brainwashed, and I felt so bad about going back to animal foods because I didn't want to contribute to them being harmed. But the matter of fact is, a lion doesn't feel bad about eating animals, so why should I and why should you? We just should not, in my personal opinion. So yeah, that's my thoughts on this. Leave your thoughts down below and your comments, your questions down below. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe to receive a lot more videos like this from me on a regular basis. And make sure you enjoy the rest of your amazing day just like I will. So catch you on the flip side and see you soon. Peace.